What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. The double standard and hypocrisies have been off the charts for Disney, and they make really no even attempt to hide it. They just try and say, oh, it's different in this case, but it's not. So we're talking, of course, about Gina Carano and how they treat their female employees differently from their male employees. And actually, before we get to Gina, I would also remind you of the 9,000 women pooling together to sue Disney for class pay disparity across gender, across the board of hotels and all these different Disney properties. So it's not exactly unique to their above the line or on-screen talent. But yeah, we are, of course, talking about this. Gina Carano eviscerating the Walt Disney Company as Mark Ruffalo compares America to Yahtzee Germany. And where have we heard this before? Oh, that's right. That's what Pedro Pascal called everyone the first time around, and then Disney defended him. But then when Gina comes out with this tweet, and I would argue that the actual reason she was fired was because she didn't put pronouns in her bio and instead said beep, bop, boop, and that pissed off them. And if you believe rumors led by a Leslie Headland, them that wanted her to go with that 40 people Zoom call or whatever, and basically it was a struggle session. And then that all led to this post that Gina shared that really pissed them off. And let's see. Pedro called half America Nazis. Gina says, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even children, because history is edited. Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? It's a good question, Pedro, since before having any horrific shit done to the right, the left is sure really wanting to paint them all as Yahtzees, punch a Yahtzee, this, and that. That way, when horrible shit is done by the government, it will be excused. Sort of exactly like what Gina was saying here by sharing. This wasn't even her post. She shared someone else who said this. But either way, the message was the same. Hi. Let's not excuse doing horrible shit to each other because of politics. And then that leads us to, of course, Mark Ruffalo. And of course, I would also add one of the things Disney was trying to say is, oh, Gina doesn't have free speech when she works for us because the things she says look bad on us. Well, here's Mark Ruffalo saying that we're all Yahtzees. So just for the record, history is repeating it. Of course, he did this because just a couple days ago with the immunity things. Sorry, your little dirty little tricks didn't work. And so he went into a meltdown, and that led to this glorious response from Gina. So double standards on full display. It's a constant and obvious elephant in the room in Hollywood. There's an example after example, such as Mark Ruffalo below, that prove this, whom, by the way, I believe should have the right to express himself without getting fired, although I cringe at most of all of his political posts. We all do. He's an actor, but he is a human being compassionately engaging in something that he feels strongly about. It must be a nice feeling to express yourself so freely. Not everyone in this country has that privilege without having everything that they love taken from them. Do we wonder why he has that privilege and I did not? The answers are in my... Oh, it's because he's a dude and he's a liberal. So pretty much it. I know people would prefer basketball players to just dribble or actors to just act, but when you're in a world where lives are being destroyed and lost all around you, how does any human being become forced to stay silent when death by injustice surrounds them? At Disney and at Lucasfilm maliciously twisted the narrative of a meme I posted, which was encouraging neighbors not to demonize their neighbors or history could. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like, oh, she's compared Republicans to being Jews. No, she didn't, you dumb fuckers. She said she compared a situation in which atrocities were allowed to happen because first a group was blamed for it. That's what she's saying is happening. She's saying the tactic is happening again. Don't fall for it. Not comparing himself to the people it was used against. It's the tactic that she's warning everyone about. Don't let the government turn us on you, but you've already done that. They twisted the meme that was saying that I was degenerating people off to their culture and denigrating and their religious beliefs. It was suggested that I was comparing Republicans to the Jewish people and the Holocaust, something that I never said or posted. I called no one a Nazi. Unlike Mark or Pedro, I did not deny the Holocaust. Read that last sentence again. I never did this. Yet I was smeared as an anti-Semite. That doesn't seem to happen to... The same people now that are probably screaming from the river to the sea. Isn't that ironic? That doesn't seem to happen to a certain group of people that choose to use these comparisons as well. Why is that? The rules are for thee and not for me, group. So what are the rules exactly? This lie was fed to you by the corrupt media based. Oh, she's about to start cooking. This lie was fed to you by the corrupt media based off a statement from Disney Lucasfilm, who have since doubled down on their slander towards me. Their narrative took a life of its own, while my own life and career were tossed aside. Their narrative, rather. The media repeated and repeated this lie, as they do, until it became an untruthful fact to many who aren't the best at doing their own research. Steele dossier, anyone? Who instead listen to fake news and what we've seen journalism digress into. Spare a few brilliant journalists, like the Matt Taibbi's. A demoralized society becomes hungry for propaganda, willing to give up their rights and the rights of others. It causes division and drives societies into a mob mentality, picking on a group of people, turning neighbor against neighbor. It is one of the largest reasons the gates were open for the Nazis to come into power in the first place. The way of doing things cannot be what we base condemning and destroying people's livelihoods and careers off of. The media manipulates the masses so easily based on their affiliations with large corporations and powerful people who signal and encourage them who to destroy. That they do. Where my case stands as of now, we are patiently waiting with respect to the judge's ruling on whether she will grant or deny Disney Lucasfilm to dismiss the case that I have brought against them. My hope is that my case brings balance back to balance back to the very broken industry. My case is not just for people who think like me, but for everyone who will be and has been placed in this position. Let's restore the balance, something that I believe the majority of industries desire, just as I believe the majority of our beautiful country desires as well. We can have conversations where we don't agree. In fact, we just might learn something from each other through more conversations. Conversation over cancellation, like I've said from beginning. And Jordan Peterson has said it many times, and I'll end with that. If you're not having a conversation where people are getting upset and or challenged, you're probably not having that important of a conversation, because to have really important conversations, people get upset, people offend, people speak truth. And when you're speaking your own truth, other people don't like that. And that's where we get here. They want you to just parrot their truth, not your own. Oh, I almost said your truth, but you know what I'm saying. They don't like when people are authentic and speak their minds, especially when it goes against that narrative, the holy narrative that they speak into truth. And they don't like when anyone goes against that. And that's why they're going after our girl, Gina. So let me know what you think of this. Be sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.